Welcome to A Women's Brew, where women talk about beer as two gorgeous women who are never afraid to spice things up all year round. You guessed it, we're talking pumpkin beers. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. I felt like I didn't quite emphasise.
I appreciated the fact. I appreciate the fact that you did it twice because you were just like, it's like you did it and then you were all not emphasis enough, and then you tried it again and then you were like, still don't know if it's emphasised, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It just felt like it would have been a waste to not use gourd, because I'm pretty self-deprecating. I don't really want to call myself a gorgeous lady, but I was like, I'm going to suck it up for the sake of this really good pun. So we're back. We're twinning. We're talking about pumpkin spice.
We've both got our Pilgrim Abbeydale t-shirts on. You may have noticed back in autumn of 2023, we didn't get around to doing our pumpkin episode.
We didn't, but we did buy the beers.
We just ran out of time, but we had the beers because we are basic bitches. We love our pumpkin spice beers. We got them all together. We've got a bunch of different ones this year. Didn't get around to it. So, dear listeners, here finally is our pumpkin spice episode.
It's a bit, it is. It's a bit late. Well, is it though?
It's never not the season for pumpkin spice for me.
If you told me that I could go someplace now and get a pumpkin spice latte,
I would be there.
I would be getting it.
Yeah.
There would be no hesitation. This is not like, it's only because I feel really bad that we bought all these beers and now people aren't going to be able to, people won't be able to get two of them for sure. One of them, I think they might still be able to get, is probably because no one wants to buy pumpkin spice. People that are buying from this other brewery probably are just like, no, I'm good, thank you. Hold the pumpkin spice. But some of the others you definitely cannot get. And hilariously, we're not even drinking the Abbeydales. And we had enough for literally two very full episodes. And then we've left it so long. I brought you some back from the US, and I'm not even going to drop some of the names that I got you. Treehouse. They did maybe this brewery, that Champy name from the US, did a pumpkin spiced latte stout that I got us. I may have gotten us another one that said not your basic bee, and it had like a witchy pumpkin on it. And you were like, are we going to use this? Yes or no? Because I want to drink it. And I was like, just drink it because I'd rather you have it. I haven't had mine yet, so I don't know if I'm gonna hope it's good. I don't know.
It was good.
I didn't get the feedback from you, which is fine because I need to just know for myself how it's gonna be. But yeah, and it's like we couldn't wait any longer. Could not wait any longer.
And we've got Pop-Tarts.
We do. I forgot to take mine out, but that's okay because we're going to have to do like a magic edit anyways of putting it in the toaster, because you can't have a Pop-Tart that's not popped.
So I was thinking about this. I don't know if I've ever had a Pop-Tart ever.
Ever?
No, I don't think
literally ever in your life. Well, this is the first time for everything.
Yeah, I don't think I have. So,
and I guess the summer months are when we amp up the American. So actually,
there you go.
You're welcome. This is the best time for this. I'm hoping the Pop-Tarts are still okay, but then I feel like with the type of E numbers and bullshit that like goes into a lot of like preservatives that go into like a lot of food, that it will be like, it's shelf stable. It'll be fine. It'll taste fine. If anything, maybe a bit stale. It's fine.
Be all right. We're gonna toast it. Doesn't matter.
Rick's not gonna have it, and he'd be the one that would go, it tastes like E numbers, so it's fine.
This is true. So what pumpkin spice beers are we doing today?
Well, so do we want to run through them all in total, or do we just want to work our way through? Should we have it be a surprise? Because you know what's fun, because I said there's one that I think the people that shop this brewery probably aren't buying these beers for. I'm just gonna let people sit on it and try to work out which one that is. Let's just take a tour through it and shoot. I guess the first one that I think makes sense to start with, I don't know, which one do you want to go? Because it's all stouts and then one sour, but I put one first because I didn't realise it was a stout, but maybe swap the two around.
Well, I've got one of my stouts out, so it was ready.
I got all my stouts out.
No, you got them out already. Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't got the other ones out yet. I can do that in a minute. But so I've got the German one out first.
That is the one that I had in first, but I don't know how strong it's going to be. That's why I was like, I don't know.
5.6%. That's not very strong.
I meant in terms of flavours. I
Oh,
wasn't sure how
flavors.
aggressive it was going to be. Yeah,
well, let's start with this one.
Let's go with it because then you can talk about it.
Yeah. So this is from when I was in Nuremberg, I found a craft beer shop and was like, "Ooh, like craft beer," and it's right near where we always get our hotels when we go over for work. So that is now, quite dangerous because there's a craft beer shop there. But I went in and they had a little section of craft beer made in and around Nuremberg. And I'm looking on this shelf and there's these bottles, not even got labels on. They've literally got like a piece of paper.
It's like a ribbon.
Stuck around.
A paper ribbon.
Stuck around the neck of the thing. And one of them is called Mrs. Strode and it's a pumpkin stout. And I was like, okay. So
I'm glad you said that. I would have said Strode.
I found a craft beer shop in Germany and I've just found a pumpkin spice stout. Need to buy these. Oh, look, there happens to be, I think there was 3. So I managed to I got 2. So one for me and one for you, and still left some pumpkin spice goodness for somebody else. Well, pumpkin stout. I don't know if it's pumpkin spice. I'm saying spice, but I don't know. It just says pumpkin stout.
But also, it says pumpkin stout. But then when you actually, I mean, I don't know German. You know way more German than I do. But on the side, it definitely says something that I think is, I don't know what that is. But it definitely says Dunkel Lager. That definitely 100% says Dunkel. And I'm guessing Lagern means lager.
Don't know. But Dunkel is just dark as well. So it could just be.
I was just guessing that Lagern meant lager. Maybe it doesn't. And it just looks familiar.
I don't think so. We're going to get Google Translate out and see if it.
I could definitely see that there's like Pilsner malts in it.
Munich malts. So that means store it somewhere dark.
Oh, that's fair. I was just, so the reason I say that is because, like, obviously it says pumpkin stout, and that's like English.
Yeah.
But then the label itself is all like German, and I was like, well, I recognise Dunkel, and it says Lager next to it, so I just assumed it was meant to say lager.
No, lager means to store, so it's like store somewhere dark.
Fair. I didn't know if it was just a dodgy translation on the pumpkin stout. No. So, interesting.
So this brewery is Handwerksbrauerie Zwanzger. And it's basically one dude that just makes beer and bottles it himself, puts these little bits of paper around, and this shop sells some of the stuff for him.
I respect it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think my bottle's quite cold because I think I wasn't sure. I think I left it without realising it was going to be a stout, and I took all the other stouts out, but not this one. So this could be interesting.
All right, well, let's try it, shall we?
Let's try it.
So this, dear listeners, is a...
Ooh, it smells nice.
Look everywhere for pumpkin beers.
Yeah, I can't even believe you managed to find this when you're like, I found just a random hand-labelled bottle of pumpkin beer. Yeah. I was like, what?
I was pretty impressed.
Very dark. Very dark.
It smells spiced.
It smells lovely. Oh, there's nice red highlights when I hold it up to the lights.
Colour.
Yes. You've got a far better head on yours than on mine, and I'm guessing it's because yours is probably optimal serving temperature.
It's got a nice kind of beigey, thick, foamy head on it.
Smelling it in the glass, again, I think it's quite cold because it's like smelling it in the glass. I don't get as much as like when I smelt it out of the bottle.
Yeah. Ginger, nutmeg.
I'm going to go back to smelling the bottle. Yeah. I do get quite a lot of cinnamon from the bottle, actually.
Yeah.
Very heavily cinnamon. I'm happy about it. Well, when I say heavily cinnamon, I mean like the right amount of cinnamon.
Right, should we taste it?
Yeah. I'm going to try to like hold it and warm it as I sip it.
Cheers.
I get quite a lot of ginger in it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say I'm only one sip, so I need multiple sips. But on sip number 1, what I'm going to say is this probably, even though it says stout on it, out of every pumpkin spice beer that I've had in the UK, tastes the most similar to pumpkin ales that I've had in the US.
Yeah, it's pretty light in body. It's very ginger.
It is, but I definitely get the other seasonings in there. Because we've had beers that have had ginger in it, that the ginger has been so aggressive that it's just overtaken everything, and it's not always been the most pleasant overtaking. Whereas like this still, I feel like ginger's definitely the main star of the show.
Yeah.
However, there are some other subtle flavours to it. But for me, it genuinely does taste the most like, and I wouldn't say just like any pumpkin ale, like, because obviously you have certain ones that have like twists to them, like we're going to have in a minute as well. But like, I think if I were to get just like a bog standard mix pack from a brewery that happens to be like a seasonal mix pack that has pumpkin ales in it, this is probably, even though it's a stout, the closest to any beer that I've had in Europe, a pumpkin beer, to that of the US. And I'm happy about that, because that is the taste that I like, and I strive for that taste again. And it just always lands so differently. Like, not bad differently, but it always lands differently to it. And I'm like, oh, I have that, just like, it's an itch that I just can't scratch properly.
I feel like it's that distinction, isn't it, between pumpkin and pumpkin spiced? Because I feel like pumpkin spice, people tend to go towards pumpkin spice latte rather than like it's like
they want to emulate the coffee element of it more than
understand as pumpkin spice, especially over here in the UK, is that pumpkin spice latte rather than, you know, pumpkin with these particular spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, a bit of clove. Like, you know, it's slightly different. And as you know, look back at our previous pumpkin episodes, listeners, if you haven't listened to those already, to talk about, you know, how pumpkin ales are different from like a pumpkin spice ale, because like they might just say, oh, pumpkin spice beer, because they can or cannot have pumpkin in them. Like, it depends on
pumpkin
who's
spice
making it.
Pumpkin spice is optional. A pumpkin beer is not optional to have actual pumpkin in it. But then again, I think we've said every single time we've done a pumpkin episode that I think people just mistake like, I have found, and I've said it so many times, that like British people, specifically British people, have like not everybody, but a large majority have such a disliking for cinnamon. And then when they say pumpkin spice, like, pumpkin's gross. And I was like, no, you don't. Have you ever had pumpkin before? No, but I know I don't like it. Okay, that's fine. But are you sure you don't like pumpkin? And it's, do you like squash? Yes, I like squash. Okay,
it's basically the same thing.
same kind of,
like, we don't get good cooking pumpkins over here is the problem.
But also, I have said it time and time again, I don't think that it's the pumpkin people don't like. I think they don't like the pumpkin spice. And when they say like that, like, they somehow think like that is the like, pumpkin fairly tasteless like a squash, like, unless you're it kind of takes on a similar flavor to whatever it is that you're kind of cooking and spicing with, to a degree. Like, there is like an earthiness to it. I think it depends on the pumpkin as well, because like you said, different pumpkins produce different type of taste. Some are better for eating, some are better for carving. But yeah, it just winds me up to no end when people are like, I don't like pumpkin. It's like, you've never had it, you don't even know what it tastes like. It's the cinnamon you don't like, which is fair enough, but like, that is not naturally what a pumpkin tastes like. As much as I wish it would, I'd be eating pumpkin all the time. Oh, and the best part is like, Oh, the book that we're in. I'm like immortalized forever as being the cheerleader for
are.
Pumpkin, which is like the funniest thing. It is so funny, the idea that I'm in a book just being like, people talk shit about pumpkin spice and that ain't cool. And I'm like,
She's
give me
paraphrasing
cinnamon.
there. It does not
Yeah,
say that.
it is basically like, please give me, I think it pretty much said almost verbatim, like, just give me an IV drip of cinnamon. And I was like, that's good. So yeah, that's forever in print. So that's great. I mean, I did do some fun bits for this episode. So I went back to my trusty friend and yours, our AI overlords. Now I've got a preview of Copilot, so I've been playing around with Copilot as well. So I mean, it's a bit of a menage a trois between me, ChatGPT, and Copilot.
Goodness.
I like to see which one is going to give me more accurate answers. And so far, for this episode, I have found that Copilot is giving me not very accurate answers. So, I mean, Microsoft, step it up, because that is...
Well, ChatGPT
ain't
just
doing
had
it.
its update though, so
yeah, but I feel like I get more. It is because I get way more sense out of it, and you'll see why. Because I'll tell you about the bits that I'm like, this is what I asked Copilot. But basically, I've asked ChatGPT and Copilot to like just randomly generate. So not randomly generate, but like we've got a few fun things that we can do today, and I use the aid of our AI overlords just to help sanity check some things and just make it a bit more formatted. So I guess the question is, do you want to do a round of a fun thing that I did, or do you want to just go to the next beer? I mean, it's completely up to you.
Should we crack the next beer and then do...
We can. The next one we've got a pumpkin. We've got a Pop-Tart. So it's so we go next beer and Pop-Tart, and this could be your first opportunity of trying a Pop-Tart. All right.
Yeah.
Shall we go prepare the Pop-Tart?
Yeah.
But verdict on this one, I like it. I like it. I'm a fan. I want to revisit it when it's warmer, because right now it's quite cold for me. And maybe once it gets warmer, because it looks like it's caramel in there, unless I've just massively like misread that. Or, I mean, not that I can read it, but from what I would hazard a guess of what it is, if I knew German. But yeah, I think I want to get a little bit more depth of flavor in it, and I think maybe that's why I'm getting more of the ale flavors that I get from the US, because there's not as much depth to the flavor. So maybe once it warms up, it'll be really even more interesting to see. So I enjoy it so far.
Right, so our next one you brought back from the US for us.
I did, because I can only buy 4 packs, and I was like, well, I might as well buy these ones. It'll be good. I can have it. I've had it already, but it's very good. Well, I thought it was really good. Let's see if it's held up. It's pumpkin pie treat, and I believe it's artisanal ale. Oh no, Prairie. Yeah, Prairie. It's artisanal ales. Yeah. So it is a sour ale with pumpkin pie spice blend and toasted marshmallow flavor. So yeah, it was nice when I had it. Will be interesting to see how it's held up since I brought it back a few months ago. But I thought it was interesting because it's like pumpkin pie, but it's a sour, which like normally you don't get a lot of sour pumpkin spiced beers.
Yeah.
Much more rare. And the label, like, look at how cute that label is.
It's got a little pumpkin pie with a little moustache.
Yeah, it does have like a little moustache, doesn't it? And like a little dollop of whipped cream for hair.
Like a whipped cream toupee.
Yeah, it's a bit like a whipped cream toupee. It's like Mr. Really, really bad toupee wearer or whatever. I don't think that episode will be out by the time that we do this, but if you know, you know. But yeah, I thought this one would pair really nicely with our pumpkin pie, because obviously I wanted to be able to be like, let's try pumpkin pie and see how it stacks up against an actual pumpkin pie. The logistics of being able to get you a pumpkin pie. I had made some for Thanksgiving that's in the freezer, and it's like I could take that out, but the ability to get that to you, not as easy. Therefore, the next best option was pumpkin pie Pop-Tarts. So I'm going to go sort that out now, and like magic, we will have both ready. Let's pour it now, and then...
Yeah, we'll pour it now.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if it looks like what you thought it would look like.
The Pop-Tart or the beer?
The beer, not the Pop-Tart.
Oh, it smells nice.
Like, I know it's, so looking at it,
Yeah.
it's like sort of like a pale golden colour, like very
Yeah.
lightly hazed, lovely white foamy head on top. When I first poured it the first time I had one, I don't know, I was expecting it to be like
Bit more orange.
thicker and more, yeah, I think more like,
Yeah.
while it is hazed, I was expecting it to be like even harder to see through. Like, I thought it was going to be more like smoothie-ish type sour.
Yeah.
From what it sounded like, especially because there's like marshmallow in it and everything else. Definitely has that like acidic. But if you do like a really quick like drive by on it, I think you get the pie. I think you get the pie smell. It smells like pie crust. Like when you have a pumpkin pie and it's that top part of the crust that goes around that's like not that's above the pie. That's what it smells like to me.
To me, it smells like pumpkin pie spices and marshmallow.
Oh, that's sad. I feel sad for you. That's what it smells like.
It smells great.
Because it's all blending together as a pie to me. And I'm sad that you don't have it as a pie forming in your nose. Like, you're like, oh, where's the pie? The pie's done.
But you have like a different like
relationship
to a pumpkin pie than I do. So
yeah, but hilariously, I don't think I ever really ate pumpkin pie growing up because I always thought it was gross. I actually genuinely thought it was gross.
I think I've only ever had pumpkin pie once.
I think I only started eating it when I like moved to the UK and I missed pumpkin spice stuff, and then I was like, I want pie, and then like I would have it afterwards because I grew and was more mature and was like, it's not gross. It's not gross at all. I tried it once and I was like, oh, this tastes like all the best things. Like when I realised that stuffing, I mean, not meat stuffing, but like turkey stuffing without meat in it, is just bread and butter. And I was like, I like all those things. And then I realised, oh, maybe I like stuffing. I just didn't like the mushy, sad stuffing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Sounds so good. I'm going in.
All right. It's like pumpkin pie in my mouth and it makes me happy. You know how you've got like Nightmare Before Christmas and he's like bringing Christmas forward to Halloween. We're bringing like Halloween forward.
Yeah.
Instead of having Christmas in July, we're having Halloween in June. Almost.
I think we're just over halfway to Halloween. So
I mean, you're not halfway to Halloween if you live every day like it's
like it's Halloween anyway.
So
yeah.
YOLO.
Yeah.
Just came back from York. I bought 2 more ghosts because my one ghost was lonely. So now Rick and Phelan have a ghost. So we're a trio again. It's great. Live every day like it's Halloween and you get to enjoy pumpkin spice.
All right, let's go get these Pop-Tarts.
Have you successfully toasted your Pop-Tart?
I have.
Oh, God, you really fucking toasted it.
I mean, it's not burnt.
If you're looking at our videos, I look at mine.
Oh. Yours don't even look like they've been in the toaster. They
are. Mine are nicely browned.
Nah.
That's all right. I'm not judging. Everyone likes their toast levels different. It smells great, though.
I feel like you're totally judging me.
I'm not.
I don't have, like, well done toast. Anyway, right.
Right, I'm going to have
I'll cut it in half so I can get to the middle.
Right. Oh, smells like pumpkin pie a bit.
It smells like pumpkin spice. I'm going to make a mess. Are we comparing this to the beer or just
getting a good idea about pumpkin pie?
So talking about Pop-Tarts, I just watched the film.
Do you watch Unfrosted? It's on my to watch.
Netflix. So good. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's a satire about the making of that. We almost watched that the other night because it looked really, really good.
It is a touch existential at points. You're like,
really?
don't really know what's going on here. I won't spoil it for you, but listeners, it's funny. It's about the creation of Pop-Tarts. Yeah, it's good. Melissa McCarthy is always a good shout.
let's be clear as well. It's a satire about them making a pop tart.
Oh yeah, it's not the.
Someone's like, "What? Like this is mental has happened?" Because at one point I just saw that on the advert for it. They were like, "Oh, we're calling in the big one. We got Chef Boyardee. We got Snap Crackle and Pop from Kellogg." I was just like, "Oh my god."
Hugh Grant is brilliant in it. Hugh Grant is in his villain era, and he is living his best life.
I'm not even mad about it because every time I see him
I love it.
in things, I'm like, he's got versatility. I was never even like a big Hugh Grant person.
I've always enjoyed his films.
I've never disliked him.
No.
But I think I was neutral. And I think recently I'm like, he's quite funny, or I'll give him
He's in his villain era and he is living his life. Do you know, I feel like this is the progression of really great British male actors is, they do some great stuff that people are aware of them for, and then they get slightly older, and then they go into their villain era. You know, who else is in their villain era? Anthony Stewart Head. He makes a great villain. Oh,
if anyone has ever okay, get it, you might not watch Buffy, you might not have watched it, fine. But if nothing else, like what's the football one? The football one.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. He's amazing. He's such a dickhead. You just want to hate him. You really are just like, what an asshole.
And I'm just sat there watching it with Gordon, and I'm like, oh, he's using his Ripper voice. And Gordon's like, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, doesn't matter. Shut up.
Like he was awesome in that. I remember Repo. Repo. He was great in Repo. The genetic, and that was quite some time ago. That's not bad. Yeah. He's great. He's also great at just being a villain. He nailed it in that one for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say like these taste the same because I think the sour edge to it, but it'll be interesting to just snack on this while we have some of the others because I think this would pair really well. Actually, I'm going to try with the stout. Is it good pairing? So I reckon it's going to pair really well with the stout. I've gone back to the stout. I'm very aware that eating on a podcast is like a Neddy no-no. Like, you shouldn't do it. It's not good ASMR. But YOLO. I think it works quite well with the stout, but I think I put the sour too close to the stout. So I think I need to kind of, it's bringing out.
Yeah. Needs to leave 10 minutes between the samples.
Yeah. So I'm told. I don't want to oxidize joke.
I like that the Pop-Tart with the stout brings out the roasty, rich characters of that one that I wasn't getting before.
Yeah.
But it does kind of knock out the spiced bits of both of them, I think, because it's obviously quite sweet and got a lot of spice in it already. It's kind of cancelling that out. So, pro tip about food pairings that we often talk about, you don't want to do too much like for like because it will just cancel it out and then you don't get that goodness.
That's true. I think my stout is still a little bit cold as well, and there's like a lot more bitterness in it because of that. Like there's I don't have as much depth in the flavour as I would like to on this now, and I think having gone to the sour and then back to it in the Pop-Tart, like it's almost watered it down and made it a little bit more like less flavourful than where it was. But I've just taken a big sip full of water, so I think the sour and the Pop-Tart were bringing more of the bitterness out for me in the stout.
Yeah. Like
when I went to the stout, and there was a little bit more like the acidity was kind of hanging around and bringing out, and because the stout's colder, it was bringing out elements that were just probably not as desirable, but I'm gonna give it another go. It definitely brings out more roastiness for sure, but still on the quite bitter end, like a more bitter coffee type roastiness. Right, well, I guess the question is, do we want to keep sipping on these and I can go into one of the fun little games that I've created? Yeah. Okay,
I'm gonna keep eating my Pop-Tart. I quite like it. I wouldn't eat it for breakfast though.
to be fair, this isn't the like for me.
Is
I
that
probably
like sacrilegious to say that?
no. I think like I probably wouldn't eat this one for breakfast, but then I also wouldn't eat it for pudding. Like I wouldn't. This wouldn't be how I'd choose to have my pudding. If I was going to have a breakfast one, I'm pretty vanilla. Like I want to go with just brown sugar. The brown sugar cinnamon Pop Tarts is
I don't
for
know what
me.
options there are. So
Everything, like all the you watch the documentary.
yeah.
They should tell you all about it. No, my favorite is just like the plain Jane. I don't like fruit filling, so I'm like nah. But I also don't really like chocolate. Like I don't really want too much chocolate and fake chocolate. Meh. This one's nice. I probably could have this for breakfast because I don't know. I just think I could, but I probably just tend to have the plain cinnamon sugar, which Rick would also still be like, I can't believe you'd want to eat that for breakfast. That's sugar,
Do they do
sugar,
that
more
over
sugar.
here?
No, actually, I think you can get. I think that's probably one of the only flavors you can get over here is those ones.
You have to go and look at Pop Tarts in the shop now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take some videos for you of what the Pop Tarting options are when I'm in the US.
The Pop Tarting.
But here's all your flavors, and then like the stores have knockoff ones. I didn't cheap out. I got
I was going to say
legitimate Pop Tarts. No, I got us legitimate. I'm not going to.
You're not getting the same brand.
It. No,
no, you
I think it said. Did not say Pop Tart on the label.
It was just a silver packet.
Oh, maybe I did cheap out. I think I got ones that were Pop Tarts though, and they said, I think that is the one that I did not cheap out on. I got myself ones that I wanted to try that were knockoff brand, but for these ones, these are legitimate Pop Tarts.
Okay.
Because I was just like, I need to
go. Real deal.
I need to go. Like, if I'm going to get it, I'm going to go big.
Gotta go all in.
Gotta go all in. I gotta go all in. I can't bring you back a knockoff market basket brand. Brother. Like I was like, no, we don't have Publix where I'm from. No, I think that's a southern thing.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I think Publix is a southern thing. Yeah, we don't have that. No, we have many supermarkets, not a Publix. I would have gone to Market Basket, and I was like, I'm not going to get you Market Basket brand because that would just be a bit sad if I was like, here, let's use this. But yeah, cool. All right. So instead of let's hold off on the game because we can play one of the games after. I'm going to give you some jokes that were generated. And you can tell me.
Are these AI generated jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I deleted all the ones, I deleted the ones that like I was like, that legitimately does not make any sense. Whereas last time I left those in because I thought it was really funny to be like, the fuck? Like I was like, this doesn't even make sense. This is why it's funny because it doesn't make sense. These ones I deleted duplicates where they use the same answer for a different thing. And I also deleted the ones that just flat out didn't make sense because I had a lot of really good content generated. And there was no way I'm not going to lie, I took the shortcut because there was no way in hell I was going to be able to make up all these jokes on my own. So I've got 10 jokes for you. You can rate them as you see fit. First one. I'm like making myself laugh before I've even said it. What do you get if you drop a pumpkin?
I don't know. What do you get if you drop a pumpkin?
Squash.
Right. Good. That's a dad joke.
That one's a proper dad joke, and I like it. I chose that one. The other one for it was, what's a pumpkin's favourite sport?
Oh, that's
Squash.
Quite good. I like that.
That's the one you like better. No, all right. Weigh in, people. What would you thought was better? What do you get if you drop a pumpkin? Squash. Or what's a pumpkin's favourite sport? Squash. Same answer. Couldn't have duplicates.
Pumpkin's favourite sport. Way better.
Meh. I went with the dad joke that made me laugh because I'm selfish. The second one. What do you call a pumpkin that works at the beach?
Don't know. What do you call a pumpkin that works at the beach?
A lifeguard.
Nice.
Slow motion run. Just picture that pumpkin running down the beach, ready to save some lives.
With its red bikini on.
It's red bikini on.
Swimsuit.
It's red.
Swimming costume.
Yeah, it's a red swimming costume running down the beach with a life preserver ready to save some lives.
It's the same colour as its skin.
I mean, it depends on the pumpkin. They just like people, pumpkins come in all shapes, sizes, and colours.
That's true. That's true.
That's why they are awesome. Number 3. How do you fix a broken pumpkin?
I don't know. How do you fix a broken pumpkin?
With a pumpkin patch. That was a
That's a
genuine
good
laugh.
one.
I got a genuine
I
laugh
like
out of
that
that one. I got a genuine laugh out of that one. I'll take it.
I like that one.
Why do pumpkins never quarrel?
I don't know. Why do pumpkins never quarrel?
Because they have a gourd heart.
Oh,
I thought that was wholesome. I left that one in there.
yeah.
What did the pumpkin say to its carver?
Please don't stab me. Like,
No, close. Cut it out. I liked your attempt. It was close. You actually nearly got there. Why did the pumpkin become a detective?
I don't know. Why did the pumpkin become a detective?
This one doesn't really make sense, but it does. It's niche. It's because it got to the root of the problem. I don't understand really why, because it's like I guess in some way it's a root. It's a root.
It's a squash, not a root vegetable.
Yeah, that's like, it's a root.
It grows on the top of the ground. It doesn't
Yeah,
grow in the ground.
it's got roots. That one was just like, I was like, that's the one that I left it. That I was like, doesn't really make sense, but we'll go with it. Why was the jack-o'-lantern so forgetful?
I don't know. Why was the jack-o'-lantern so forgetful?
Because it was empty-headed. That one made me sad.
That's sad, yeah.
Got 3 more for you. Why do pumpkins sit on porches?
I don't know. Why do pumpkins sit on porches?
Because they don't have hands to knock on the door, obviously. That one might be my favourite one.
That's your favourite one?
Because it's so on the nose. I don't know. It's either that one, the life gourd, or the squash. Because I'm like, those ones, that one's like, why doesn't it do it? It doesn't have hands, obviously. So it just sits there. What did the pumpkin say after Thanksgiving?
I don't know. What did the pumpkin say after Thanksgiving?
Good pie, everyone. That was like a child's joke. That's not even a dad's joke. That's like when you have a child at a family gathering and they're like, shh, little Stephen wants to tell a joke. Let them tell a joke. And they get up there and they're like, hey guys, what's the pumpkin pie say about Thanksgiving? Good pie, everyone. And then everyone's like, ha 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 ha. Very funny joke, Stephen. Now go away. And
they're harsh in your family at Thanksgiving.
And the last one, why was Cinderella such a bad football player?
I don't know why was Cinderella such a bad football player.
Because she had a pumpkin for a coach. So there you go. There's all the pumpkin themed. There's all the pumpkin.
I like the pumpkin patch one the best. That was
the pumpkin patch one was your favourite one there.
Yeah, that was the best one.
Okay, well, yeah. You guys can tell me what your favourite joke is or wasn't. It's all right. Let me know which squash one you prefer.
Or send us some of your pumpkin jokes.
Send us your own fun pumpkin jokes. These ones, I didn't make them up, obviously. I had AI scour the internet for the best, the cream of the crop, the pumpkin of the patch. I had them do all the work. Right. Shall we move on to another beer?
Shall we? What are we going to have next?
I mean, it's a toss-up. I'll let you pick. You pick. Sip on the rest of these later.
Let's do the one that I got in Home Bargains. So this year, you could get pumpkin spice beer in Home Bargains and Tesco's, everybody, which was quite exciting.
I think some people had them at B&M.
Oh, there might have been at B&M as well. But I got our one at Home Bargains. So it is the Glen Cannich Pumpkin Spice Stout. Now, I'm very interested to see what this one tastes like.
I'm as well, because I know everyone was like, oh, there's B&M pumpkin spice beer. And everyone was like, what is this? I like the label. That's what I'll say about it. It's like
the label was nice.
Creepy jack-o'-lantern. I like it.
Yeah, I do like the label, but I've never heard of this brewery.
Me either. This is the first for me.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because on our quarterly updates, I've been tracking for those, like new breweries that I've not heard of or tried before.
Okay.
So this is on the list now, officially.
So this is another pumpkin spice stout. Dark, smooth and spiced, it says on the label.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it compares to the German one.
Yeah, it's only 4.5%, mine.
That's nice, though. Sometimes it's nice having. I don't mind. I don't need all my stouts to be like big.
No.
Big heavy boys. Sometimes I like that it's a smaller ABV, because that tends to be that it's sometimes just a thinner mouthfeel, but like you still get flavour in it, and it's a win-win. Especially for like, I mean, the weather that we have at the moment, it keeps alternating, but this
Well,
one's
so it says it's got cinnamon, vanilla extract, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves in it. So it's got all the things.
I don't feel like aroma-wise this is as well balanced as the German one. This feels like very like the smell-wise, it smells very roasty.
Yep.
For me, and just very ginger heavy, but also really thin on the nose.
I'm getting a fair bit of clove.
I struggle to tell the difference between some of it, like between the clove versus some of the other, like the nutmeg and the clove is where I struggle. Ginger and cinnamon, got it.
You have to go get those spices and train your palate.
Because there's allspice, there's nutmeg, allspice,
cloves.
Clove.
Yeah. Get them, smell them. I mean, you can taste them just a little bit. You don't want to be taking handfuls of that.
Don't do the cinnamon challenge there. That's too much.
So that you train your palate. That's how you start to recognise them more.
There is quite an element of like coffee to this, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. Right, should we go in?
Yeah, let's go in. Cheers.
Cheers. It's pretty roasty.
Weirdly, I would argue this tastes more. For me, I'm getting nuttiness and roastiness. It tastes more to me like trying to emulate something with peanut butter or like nuts really? And coffee than it is pumpkin spice. But that's only one sip. Maybe it will develop. I don't know.
I'm not getting a lot of the spices are quite subtle. I think in it is quite heavily roasty.
The flavours,
a bit of coffee.
The flavour's bolder than I expected from the aroma. Like the taste is bolder. I expect it to be like really light on flavour because I thought it was going to be quite light and watery because of the aroma. But it's actually pretty heavily roasted. But I'm getting a nuttiness to it. I don't really get a lot of the spices, but I do get quite a heavy element of nuttiness, but it's like mostly roasty. Like I would say what is screaming at me is like roasty coffee notes, and then a nuttiness that makes it taste more, for me, like a Snickers bar or something like that, as opposed to anything pumpkin spice related. But I'm not mad about that. Like actually I was expecting to be like, yeah, not really a fan of this. Am I a fan of it because it's pumpkin spice? No. But is it surprisingly decent as a coffee stout? Yeah,
it's not bad. It's not a bad stout. I wouldn't say it's pumpkin spice. I don't think it delivers on that, but it's an alright stout. Even the mouthfeel's not too bad.
No, I expect it to be thinner, more watery. Yeah. Just like I said, I don't know, maybe because I expected like when people were like, I'm going out to B&M to get this, and the fact that it doesn't, the aroma isn't as like strong. It smells like it's going to be a little bit more watery. I just expected it to not have, and where it's the lower ABV in comparison to a lot of like the stouts that we kind of have that have these adjuncts in them. Like I expected it's going to be a bit on the watery thin side, but surprisingly not. Like I said, pumpkin spice it is not really, but I'm not hating it. I'm surprised how much I actually quite enjoy it. Not in a, like, that sounds really shitty, but in the sense of like all things point to the fact that I should be disappointed by it, but actually the flavour of it has turned out to be really well. I've never heard of this brewery before, so it's not like I'm judging it to go, oh, they could be macro owned for all I know. I have not a clue. Haven't looked into it. We just got excited that we were like, there's something at a home market. Like, what?
We're gonna buy that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right. While we sip this for a bit.
Yep.
Want to play a game? That sounds very jigsaw. This sounds creepy because now we're getting into like creepy Halloween. Like, do you want to play a game? Yes. Okay, we're going to play true or false. I'm going to give you a statement. You're going to say if you think it's true or false. This is all pumpkin related, obviously. Okay. Take as long as you want. I'm not going to tell you. Well, actually, on this one, I will tell you the answers right away. Right. Are you ready to begin?
I'm ready.
Okay. You are sat there, for anyone listening, you're sat there with the power stance. You're like, I got this. I got this.
I do not feel like I've got this, but I'm glad that my body language is.
Your body language looks like you're like, I'm going to ace this. I'm going to ace this quiz. Right. True or false? I'm going to smash it. First question. So I think it's out of 10 statements.
Okay.
Statement number 1. Pumpkins originated in Europe.
I think that's no. Oh.
Take your time. Work out your process.
So
I'm going to just drink this coffee and eat my Pop-Tarts.
I was going to say yes, but then
what's going through your head?
I feel like it was because I'm trying to think about like jack-o'-lantern mythology and history, and they started out as turnips before they were pumpkins. I'm gonna go. Oh.
But also, I'm just gonna put to play devil's advocate. I'm not trying to sway you either way, because I also have to do this because I'm really bad. I'm bad at poker face, so I've got to like do my best to stay as neutral as possible. Because if not, I have to do this, or else you're gonna go. It's obviously this way because I'm gonna react. To play devil's advocate as well. So you've got you're thinking of the history of jack-o'-lanterns. But we're not just talking about the history of jack-o'-lanterns. We're talking about the history of pumpkins overall.
Yes, I know that, but I was just trying to think about where I knew where things had happened. So the thing is, that kind of mythology comes from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
The place I was thinking that they might have come from would have been Ireland before they went over to the US, which is why I was thinking about turnips.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I'm gonna get all these wrong, so I'm just gonna say no. I think it's false.
I'm going to finish eating my Pop-Tart first. Hang on. I was hoping you were going to work that out a bit longer so I could get the mouthful in. That is 100% correct. It's false. Pumpkins are native to North America. So they were cultivated by indigenous peoples long before the arrival of Europeans.
That's what I thought. See? Because I feel like they were a gift given to the pilgrims.
Well, no, I think they might have been. But I think that was just part of,
corn and
maize. They went, here's your maize, here's your other things. Oh.
Before they gave them disease blankets. And
they were like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, it's just so sad. All we have to offer are this blankets of warmth and a new home. Yeah, awful. Absolutely awful. So we just, we're not here for that. We're here for pumpkins. We're here for pumpkins.
We talked about colonialism a lot this year.
We have quite a lot. Quite a lot. Pumpkins. True or false statement number 2. I don't want to, because I feel like I'm just going to get angry when I'm just going to get on one and it's just going to make me angry. So, the world record for the heaviest pumpkin is over 2,000 pounds, which is roughly 907 kilos.
Oh, that's the biggest one.
The world record, for the heaviest one. Because I feel like in my brain, I had to put it into kilos for you because my brain would understand the pound sign. But if you said kilos, I'd have been like, what? And so I thought it might be the reverse for you. So I just translated it for you.
I feel like it might be heavier than that.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's over 2,000 pounds.
Over 2,000.
So, I mean, that's not an untrue statement if you believe it's over.
Well, I'm gonna say true because the last one was false.
That's exactly how I used to do my exams. I'd be like, oh, this B. Well, you can't have 3 B's in a row because everyone knows you've got to alternate it. You can't have 2 of the same answer in a row. Correct. True. It is a true statement. The world record for the heaviest pumpkin was set by Matthias Willemins from, I think that's how you say it, from Belgium, with a ties it in really great to the stuff we've been doing recently, with a pumpkin weighing 2,624.6 pounds, which is roughly 1,190.5 kilos. And that was in. Do you want to take a stab at the year?
Is it recent or?
Well, I mean, in terms of the history of the world, yeah.
2012.
Close 2016. It's not that far off. It's only a few years off. I mean, it's all relative. You're like, oh, is it recent? Well, I mean, what's your...
It's just going to be difficult the whole way through this.
Just what's your idea of recent? Just,
Hard eye roll.
Oh, there was a sign in York that was like, oh, I'm sorry, could you hear how loud my eyes were rolling? It's like, oh, I kind of want that sign. Number 3, third statement. Every part of the pumpkin is edible, including skin, leaves, flowers, and seeds.
I suspect the flowers probably are. The seeds are. I enjoy pumpkin seed. I wonder if it's edible, but it's just not tasty.
It's interesting they've split out leaves and flowers.
Is it?
I think so, because I think that's just like, it's a weird thing to call out those individually, I think.
I don't think so, because a leaf could be quite thick and like sinewy, so you
True.
might want to eat that. But a flower, edible flowers is the thing.
Have you ever grown pumpkins or tried to grow pumpkins?
No.
I have. It failed.
Same way I tried to grow hops from seed.
I've tried to grow many fruits and veg. What I will say is they all flower and then nothing happens. Nothing happens. They all flower. I just don't think they pollinate, and I don't really understand why. I don't really know.
I successfully grew chilies, and I've currently got 2 little strawberry plants I'm trying to grow some strawberries on. So
that's nice. We are growing wildflowers at the moment, aka wheat. So they look banging though in the garden aesthetic. So
I was thinking the other day about getting some pots because I've got a bunch of like seed bombs that I've accumulated.
Oh, we just chuck them in the flower bed. All good. They look great.
I haven't got any flower beds though.
Chuck them in pots then. Go for it.
That's why I said I need to get a pot. Do I think it's all edible?
Everything. Skin, leaves, flower, seeds.
True.
Yes, that is true. All parts of the pumpkin are edible. Despite me trying to bamboozle you. I tried to bamboozle. Didn't work. Statement number 4. Pumpkins are 90% water. I don't know how much. I'm going to see what the percentage of humans are. How?
I mean, beer's 90% water. So that ties in quite nicely. I'm going to say I think that's correct. I think that's true.
Adult human men, because that's obviously what comes up first, is adult human men. When is it going to be International Men's Day? 60% of their bodies are water. So,
okay.
There you go. Thought just for comparison's sake. So you're saying that's true?
Yeah.
Correct. They are approximately 90% water, which is why they are relatively low in calories. So there we go. That's what we get here. This is the offering we get, is like they're relatively low in calories. Meanwhile, the first thing that pops up is like men's bodies are 60%. Anyways, number 5, canned pumpkin is usually made from butternut squash.
Oh, I think that's true, actually.
That was a really quick answer.
Yeah, because I think I've heard that.
It's like, you were immediately like, yes. There's that like wasabi is actually normally horseradish. And you're just like, all in. Yes. I'm all in. I'm betting it all.
I think that's true.
Okay, well, you would be incorrect. It is false.
Oh, damn it. I'm sorry I've heard that.
Canned pumpkin is typically made from a variety of pumpkin specifically bred for canning, though some products may include other types of winter squash, but that is not the usual.
Okay. Well, that's what, but again, that goes back to getting the right pumpkins, right? Because I feel like we don't have, like, the bigger they get, the less sweet they are, and like you want like those nice little sweet ones for making pie and pumpkin bread and things, which is, we just don't have the right ones.
Yeah, and I think that's why we tend to get a lot of canned, because the ones you get here, great for carving, they're filled with pumpkins. I
mean, I don't think we get enough canned pumpkin.
It's annoying because it's like we have to get them at a particular time of the year, and then like in the US, I think you can kind of get them all year round. Over here, it's like you have a time of year.
I literally like when I came over to the UK, when I came back from having pumpkin for the first time. Oh, I'll share that story because I said I would. I came over here and I was like, I'm going to go and look in the vegetable aisle and see if I can get some canned pumpkin so I can, make some stuff. And I like scoured the shelves and was just like, can't get canned pumpkin. And I was like, that's weird. And then I was like, and I was like, Googling it. No, you cannot get canned pumpkin in the UK unless you find it in the American section.
Rude.
So
rude.
Like, my Anglo-American lifestyle is being stunted by this. This is Not acceptable.
I like that you use the phrase "it's being stunted." You're like, I'm being stunted. They're trying to silence me. Big Pumpkin is trying to take me out.
I couldn't get, at the time, I couldn't get Sam Adams over here. I couldn't get Tin Pumpkin. Couldn't get Coffee Mate, French Vanilla, Creamer. What was
You
the
can
point?
get powdered like Coffee Mate, but I just don't think it's the same.
It's not French Vanilla, though. Not the flavoured ones. It's just Coffee Mate. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, I don't understand
Believe
because
me.
like Coffee Mate that I've seen is like powder, and I was like, oh no, like I don't want that.
I've bought the powdered one in the US because I could get it, put it in my suitcase and take it with me when I travelled to the ships. So I
my
would
brain
stock
can't
up on
compute.
the pumpkin spice one would come out. I'd have French vanilla fairly regularly because so this is why. So I would get the Starbucks via sachets of instant coffee. And I would get a French vanilla creamer, or when it was the right time, I'd stock up on pumpkin spice creamer. And then I could make that with hot water out of the tap in my office in the wardrobe, because breakfast would close at like 9 a.m. and I would have been working until like 2 or 3 a.m. the night before and didn't need to be up stupid early to get breakfast. So I would have cereal bars and instant coffee and powdered coffee creamer. And then if I wasn't lucky enough for us to have smuggled a kettle on, because we weren't allowed kettles.
Why weren't you allowed kettles? That's insane.
Because you could burn the ship down with it, obviously.
Of everything on a ship, that's going to be what... Okay.
Mate, they took
I have no
hairspray
additional
away
questions.
from me. They took hairspray away from me because it was a danger.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I have no additional questions.
Those things were a lifesaver when I could just use the hot tap to make myself an instant coffee. The things you do to survive.
Insanity. That sounds like actual insanity. Hold that story though the first time that you had it, because once we're done with this, we can have the next beer and you can tell us about that. Where was I? So the canned pumpkin, number 6. The traditional pumpkin used for carving jack-o'-lanterns is called a field pumpkin.
Ooh. I feel like that's a bit of a generic name.
Maybe yes, maybe no. You're looking like, ooh. Don't know. I mean, I do know.
Okay, because you've got the answers. Field pumpkin. Don't feel like I've heard the name field pumpkin. And I've heard some names of varieties of pumpkins. I'm going to say false.
Okay. I did say the answer when you talked about the carving turnips. And then I realised when I said it, I went, oh, fuck, because this is a question. It is absolutely true. Field pumpkins are the most common type of pumpkin used for carving due to their large size and thinner walls.
See, look, I got.
And I said something along the lines of,
well.
you were talking about the turnip here. You flew too close to the sun, Icarus. It was too much.
Well.
You got so excited. You were like, oh, God, I'm right. This is great. This is going really well. You physically said this is going really well. And when you listen back to this when you're editing, you're going to hear me when you said carve the turnip, and I went, oh, I mean, it's not exactly a field pumpkin or something like that. I said it, and then I went, oh, fuck. And then I went, but don't draw attention to it because then you're definitely going to know. Number 7. Pumpkin pie was served at the first Thanksgiving in 1621.
I feel like that's false.
100% ready to commit to that.
Yeah.
Correct. Well, pumpkins were likely part of the feast. There's no evidence that pumpkin pie, as we know it, was served at the first Thanksgiving.
Someone had to make like sweet crust pastry and make the filling and
like,
put it all together, right?
We've never seen pumpkins. What is this? This is amazing.
Let's make it into a pie.
You know what? This would be
great
in a sweet pie.
Right, exactly. I was like, nah, if they've never seen one before.
And let's make sure we make it so that it's just this exact, amazing, solid form of thing. It's gonna be great. And everyone loved it and they all clapped. And that's how we know it really happened. Except it didn't.
I feel like, do you ever have pumpkin pie with like a top on it? With like a pastry lid?
Oh, no.
No, right? So I feel like...
that's like, that is insane. The closest thing to that is this Pop-Tart. That is insane.
Right,
That is insanity.
But here is another thought, right? Because I feel like whenever I think of before I went to the US, when I thought of pie, it always had like either like a pastry lattice over the top, but it always had a lid. Pies had lids. What you have would be a tart. So
Oh,
even
excuse
if
you.
they did know what it was,
Excuse you.
yeah, it'd be called a tart.
Oh,
So like,
what's your
yeah,
tone?
so it is a legitimate legitimate dessert item. But I feel like it would have been called a tart. So I don't think they would have made pumpkin pie because they wouldn't have known that that's what that was. They didn't know what pumpkin was. They wouldn't have known that was
Well,
called a
these are
pumpkin
still
pie.
actually like British people at the time. Let's be
Yeah.
real. And they would be like,
This is what I'm saying.
you guys are like scared of cinnamon. It wouldn't have been a pumpkin pie. It would have been like something wildly different. I don't know. But you are correct. It was false. Number 8. Illinois is the largest producer of pumpkins in the United States.
Maybe.
Just 50-50.
Sure.
True.
Yay!
They produce the most pumpkins of any state in the US, largely due to its favourable growing conditions and the presence of major pumpkin processors, which I don't really know. Like, is that a factory that's going to break it down and mush it into like canned, or I don't really know. Don't know what a pumpkin processor is, but it's fine. Number 9, pumpkin flowers are only pollinated by bees.
True.
Correct. They're the primary pollinators of pumpkin flowers, which is essential for pumpkin production.
What else pollinates?
Not a clue.
Other than
Genuine.
bees?
I think just themselves.
They pollinate themselves. Yeah.
Like, that's probably
Other
it.
flying things.
Birds. Just accidentally dropping things. I don't know.
Don't know.
I have literally no idea.
No, if you are more sciencey than we are,
well, it's pollinator stuff.
Listeners, let us know. What are the other pollinators that we are missing?
Your final question. Pumpkins were once recommended for removing freckles and curing snake bites.
I bet they were. That sounds great. Yeah, I'm going to say.
Like, even if they weren't, they are.
I don't care. That sounds great.
Lie to me. Okay,
Yeah.
sure, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It is 100% true. That's not a lie.
Yeah.
Early settlers and some Native American tribes believed pumpkins had medicinal properties and used them in folk remedies.
Nice. I did all right there then, I think.
You did. I didn't actually calculate them all because it's just for fun. It's just for fun. But yeah, you did fine until you started saying I'm doing great, and then you didn't. And then when you realised you flew too close to the sun, and you were like, humility. They blessed you. The pumpkin gods blessed you and said you may get the last few right. So there you go. Let's crack open the next bit, and then you can tell me your story about your first time.
So our next one, you could have got in Tesco's, everybody. I wonder if you did. Pumpkin spice latte porter from Northern Monk, and it was one of their beers. I know they did. They had to change the label on it because it had wasted on it, and somebody reported them to the Portman group.
Did it?
And yeah, I
don't even remember that.
So it was one of their. They've done the wasted ones where it's like wasted. It was leftover.
Yeah, because this is a surplus to purpose.
Yeah, and there was another one, and it used to have wasted on it.
I cannot.
And they're not allowed to put that on there anymore because somebody reported one of their beers to the Portman group, and they were like, "Oh, it looks like it might be about binge drinking because you're wasted." No, it's about wasted food products.
But also, even if it was, it's in the alcohol section, so like. Just fuck all the way off.
Exactly.
Fuck all the way off.
Well, anyway, Portman Group
they're horrible.
The thing. There was one the other day that they didn't uphold. And I was like, oh, you didn't uphold that, but you upheld. Look it up. There was like a Twickenham beer brewery that they upheld something ridiculous. And I was like...
It's insane.
It was like,
some of the stuff you're just like, come on, use some common sense here. Yeah,
it was like a sexist. It had been reported as a sexist name, and they were like, "Oh no, but if you know the area, like it's named after a statue, right? So you have
knowledge
of that beer.
But that's okay. But putting wasted across something that's very clearly about stopping waste is not okay. Yeah. Anyways, all right. I feel like we've got on soapbox quite a lot this episode already, and just little bursts of anger.
Yeah. So. Pumpkin spice latte porter. From Northern Monk.
Have you had this one already?
I've had this several times.
I have as well.
I also took it to Germany and shared it with my German colleagues.
How did they find it?
They were not fans.
Oh. Kills the breeze.
Oh, it smells so coffee.
All I smell is just coffee.
Yeah.
It smells like somebody's just roasted a pot of coffee in the other room.
Yeah.
Look at that, like, just gorgeous colour head as well.
It's a lovely dark brown, and then it's got a beige foamy head on it.
Beautiful.
It smells like really lovely roasted, like freshly roasted coffee. Bit of spice in there. I don't know if it's just because I'm looking at the picture on the can, which is a latte with whipped cream on the top, but I feel like I can smell whipped cream in it.
I can't, but that's also maybe because I don't like whipped cream. So I actively just pretend it's
filter
not
it
there.
All right, I'm going in.
All right. It does just really smell like coffee. Ooh. It just has that sweetness to it. This one is... It was and maintains the spot of tasting the most like a pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah. It does what it says on the can.
This one is exactly...
latte water.
Yeah. I think as well, like when you get it from a supermarket, you do just think like, I think you go in with an unconscious bias. Yeah. Because of the fact, not for everything, but with something that's like niche, like a pumpkin spice latte, when you can barely get like breweries to make them without. When it's in a supermarket, there's almost a level of like, okay, how is this going to come out? Is there going to be something sacrificed in terms of like what the flavour is? It really does taste exactly as you'd expect.
It does, yeah. It's good.
It tastes like that photo represents it.
It sure does. Right, so do you want to hear about the first time I had pumpkin?
I do, because then it means I can eat the rest of my Pop-Tart and hear this really great story.
Have you I don't know if it's a really great story, I'm just going to share when I first had pumpkin. Have you eaten pumpkin or had pumpkin available to you your entire life, do you reckon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. Because every Halloween you'd carve a pumpkin, and then if you stopped the pumpkin, because it's colder at that time of year anyway, so it usually preserves a bit longer and whatever, and then if it didn't rot, you'd use the pumpkin and you'd roast it and you'd do whatever. But I think that it's just more accessible to have it. Had it probably my whole life.
So we definitely carved pumpkins at some point when I was younger. Probably not when I was really little.
I'd say the most I'd have would be if I was as a kid, I wouldn't eat like I wasn't a pumpkin pie eater as a kid, because I think I was probably too fussy to be. I'd be like, I would do the thing that I shit on people for, which I was like, I don't like that, because that's what kids do. They go, I don't like it, because they look at it and they go, oh no, the consistency is like, man, no, that's gross. But I definitely had it, I think, the most in like soup or like something like that, like a bisque type soup.
I don't even really remember pumpkin to eat being available when I was a kid,
including pumpkin seeds.
I mean, probably.
Would you not even have seeds?
It probably was. But my family are very British. So, it's all very
meat and potatoes.
Everything, meat and 2 veg, roast dinners. My family don't even eat rice or pasta. At all.
Growing up in an Italian American household.
Right.
I cannot, my brain physically cannot comprehend the fact that you're like, we didn't eat pasta. I'm like, what? What did you eat then on Sundays? I'm like, what are you
every single Sunday was a roast dinner. Every single Sunday, always.
So different.
Yeah. And so it wasn't until I went to uni that I learned how to cook pasta from other people that I live with, and started eating pasta. I mean, also one of my problems is that I can't have tomatoes, and that has been throughout my life. So obviously there was a few things that I was like, well, I kind of want to try that, but then I struggled to find like a way
of having it
to eat it, because getting like sauces and things, and I was kind of still growing into liking cheese. So I used to I liked cheese on toast, like I like melted cheese,
okay.
but I didn't like regular cheese. But I think that's just because
When you
our
say
house only
regular
ever had
cheese, what do you mean?
like unmelted cheese.
Right.
But I think that's because our family had cheddar or red Leicester, and that was it.
Okay.
Like in our house, like very simple, very, very simple things at my house. So then when I started, coming across cream cheese and blue
So
cheese
you
and
didn't?
brie,
Did
and
you not have like bagels cream cheese? That was not a
no,
thing. Okay.
no, no.
All right.
I think I start. Yeah, I think I started eating bagels because did I start eating them when I was? No, I think I started having. There's a lot of things I started eating when I was at uni, because I travelled and I was with other people that were eating things, and like I went out and went to all these different places and tried different things, and then went on cruise ships and tried even more things and brought all this stuff back, and like I was like cooking all these random things in the kitchen, and people were like, "What?" My family's like,
What are you doing?
What is that? What are you making? Like, what do you mean you're cooking with garlic? Like, yeah, my family don't eat garlic. Seriously. Yeah,
What?
so my family are weird.
What? I'm
Yeah,
like,
no
literally, it
pasta,
says
no rice,
use
no garlic.
like a clove of garlic, and Rick and I are like, so that's easily 3 to 4
Mm-hmm.
plus. Like, and that's if it also maybe isn't enough. Then maybe we need 6. Like,
Seriously, the things that I learned, like that I tried while I was like, how do I make this? And I was researching how to make these things and working it all out. But like, so I think my first, when the first time I went to the US, it was in the springtime, so there wouldn't have been pumpkin spice stuff about.
no.
My first,
I think pumpkin spice lattes, I want to say, only came about in 2003. I think it was.
yeah.
I
So I
think
mean,
when I was
so the
googling this, it's like.
first time I went to the US was 2004.
But like even then, it's like that just came
Yeah,
out, and
right.
it's
That
an
was just come out.
autumnal thing.
Yeah, so I was in the springtime, so I didn't see anything pumpkin necessarily.
Whereas I think now you could go back out of season, and there's probably going to be
and you'd
something
find
that's
those
pumpkin
things.
spice.
Then my first year on cruise ships was 2007. I don't really remember anything pumpkin spicy then. Did we do Thanksgiving? I can't remember what we did for Thanksgiving.
Maybe did you do Friendsgiving?
No, I can't remember what we did for Thanksgiving. Were we in Hawaii?
Oh god, that'd be an amazing place to spend Thanksgiving.
We might have been in
It's
Hawaii.
not cold. You don't have a risk of like shoveling. Did you watch?
But,
have you ever watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I put it on here when I cook dinner for Thanksgiving, just because it's just a creature comfort. And it's all shit, but you just go, oh, and there's Snoopy. Snoopy's coming down the road, everyone.
Yeah.
Tom the
like,
turkey.
I was still learning about all these things, like, because it was, I was then really in the middle of American culture with other Americans, and like learning about that stuff. And then I suppose the first time would have been my third ship contract, but it was like my second year on cruise ship. So it was autumn 2008.
Okay.
And not really had anything pumpkin, but people had said stuff about it. And so this comedian came on. So we'd have guest entertainers come on, and they'd do a show, and they'd stay around for a little bit, and then they'd swap them out. And this comedian came on, and it was around Thanksgiving sort of time. And he was like, "Oh, my wife has sent me with a bunch of like tiny pumpkin breads."
That's adorable.
So she'd made all these tiny, like mini, like cake bar type size mini pumpkin breads, and he was like, "I've got one for everyone." And so he like
That's
just
really
gave all
lovely.
of us, because he'd been on before and we'd seen him before, and he was like, "I brought everyone a pumpkin bread." So we've all got these little pumpkin breads that his wife
That's
made
adorable.
for all of us. And I was like, "I've never had pumpkin bread before, but let's see what it's like." And I ate it.
Did
and I was
it
like,
or did it not have cream cheese? Did it have a cream cheese
cream
frosting?
Cheese. It was just pumpkin bread. It had that pumpkin spice to it, like it was delicious, and I was like,
pumpkin bread very similar to gingerbread as well. Like I would say,
well, and like to banana bread, I suppose is the closest over here.
do you not get like you don't get gingerbread loaves, do you over here?
No,
just
gingerbread's
cookies.
a hard biscuit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, but it's the same thing there. But like we have like gingerbread muffins, which would be like basically same.
Yeah, but so this was, this was a pumpkin spice latte, and I was like, I really like this. So then I started drinking pumpkin spice lattes, and then
Slippery slope.
slippery slope. Here we are.
Then you're in a book.
Here we are.
Then you're in a book
But that
with
was the first time.
this guy
So
talking about how people need to just
and
get
then
over
that Thanksgiving we had dinner as a cast in the restaurant on the ship, and I tried pumpkin pie for the first time, and I like that. And so, then that was it. Pumpkin
everything.
Yeah. And I came home and couldn't find pumpkin anywhere.
We still can't really.
Still can't. One of my favourite things was I used to get pumpkin. We used to get pumpkin risotto in an Italian restaurant in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's
so good.
That is lovely. Or like pumpkin ravioli.
So oh yeah. So the can highly recommend the butternut squash ravioli in Sainsbury's.
Is it like the ones you get in the day and they're like quite? There's like, I don't know, 5 or whatever big ones.
Yeah. They're not that big. There's like a box does a meal for me and Gordon.
Okay.
But yeah, a box of ravioli of not pumpkin, butternut squash and ricotta.
That sounds delicious.
And a little bit of sage.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
So
you used to do like a butter sage sauce for that. I'm hungry now. I want.
But anyway, that was the first time I probably ever had anything pumpkin, and then it was a slippery slope from there.
That is crazy.
Gifted to me.
Who's the comedian?
I can't remember his name now. It was a long time ago.
We're going to like finish recording and then you're going to be like, it was so and so. Yeah. I hope he's not problematic now.
I don't think he's anyone. I hope he's anyone that anyone would recognise. Like, he was on the cruise ship circuit rather than, the
we don't judge
TV circuit. But but like, you might not know him. But yeah, he was lovely.
That's fun. That's a fun one. I can't believe it is like that started from a tiny little homemade pumpkin bread.
Loaf of
my brain's still left at the fact that you were like, yeah, I didn't really grow up having pasta. I'm like, what? No garlic, no pasta.
Nope.
I'm like, oh, it hurts my heart. But I get it, the tomato situation. Yeah. But I'm also like, oh, wow. How do you... Oh, it hurts so bad.
We didn't really have pizza either. Because obviously back then, like, it was always...
Yeah, and I guess that's tomato base. Yeah, tomato base, yeah.
But when I was at uni, the first time I went to the US was on international exchange for uni, and they had Alfredo pizza, and I was like, what is this
I love Alfredo
magic?
Pizza.
Same.
It's just too much of a ball ache to make here, because to make the bechamel for the white sauce,
I think Domino's had a carbonara one recently, and it was great. And I was like,
we can't say that name in this house.
Why?
Because we cannot talk about Domino's in this house. Rick would murder. He'd be like, absolutely not. He'd be like, we don't. Because he's like, my pizza is better than any Domino's pizza ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, homemade is way better, obviously.
So he's just like, okay, I'm not paying someone to do that. Absolutely.
But I'll be like, I'll do homemade pizza, and Gordon would still prefer a Domino's.
No. I think for me, like, homemade white pizza is definitely better. It is just such a pain because it's to make the sauce. It won't last as long, so it's not like you can batch make it and just have it like once a week, because it would take so long on a pizza to get rid of it. But it is when you have it, you go bechamel sauce, chicken, broccoli, and cheese.
No, thank you.
Oh, it is.
I want some bacon on there.
No, well, I mean, because you're coming out from carbonara, I'm coming out from Alfredo.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So slightly different, because there's not necessarily the bacon pieces on it. And white pizza it's just great.
Yeah, white pizza is great. New York white pizza.
I went to an amazing place in York called The Block, because they had more like Sicilian style dough, and it was so good. I got a spinach ricotta. obviously cherry tomatoes, which obviously you can have, but you can pick them off because there's not that many, and then a like a drizzle of lemon over it.
Oh.
So good, light, airy, just beautiful. Music was great, dog friendly. So recommend. So love good bit
Anyway,
of
restrain from
pizza.
pumpkin spice Greenwich pizza. Because you're so shocked about the things I didn't have as a child.
I know, it's just because, like I said, growing up, like on time, like what do you eat for Sunday dinner if you don't have pasta? That's
Roast dinner.
insane. Oh yeah. Well,
What did you eat for Sunday dinner?
pasta.
Oh. Like always.
Yeah, like family, a Sunday meal, family comes around. And I wouldn't say like always, like there's occasionally other things, but it's mainly family meals, mainly pasta, or at least have pasta. So like pasta and meatballs. Pasta, homemade meatballs, sausages, but obviously all in red sauce, gravy, whatever you want to call it. Because like it depends.
It's not gravy, that's a sauce. Gravy is made from meat.
Yeah,
juices,
okay. Well,
and it's brown.
Italians unite. Let's see what happens there. We'll just leave that one there. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah, that's mainly probably like either gnocchi or like sometimes.
I'd never had gnocchi until I was in Venice in my 3rd year of uni.
Oh, gnocchis are great.
So
gnocchis are great, but then you've also got
21,
like it could also maybe be chicken parmesan or eggplant parmesan, aubergine parmesan, however you want to call it. Yeah, no, I think it's more like we're a red sauce family. Maybe some chicken broccoli and ziti. I don't know. It gets wild. Variations of pasta, and then you'd inevitably have it for like days after, like just leftover city. And then that's why I think I grew up just being like Rick's always like, oh, let's have red sauce with pasta. And I'm like, no, ma'am. No.
Yeah.
Because I grew up just like having that. Yeah. And I'm like, I just want some variation. Give me some white sauce. Give me some garlic oil. Give me like anything. And he's just like, but we never have red sauce. And I'm like, I've spent
There's a reason for that.
over 20 years of my life having red sauce. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break, please. But as you say, we stray from pumpkin spice. Let's crack our final beer open. We can play the final game, which is a good one. All right, do you want to say what our final beer is?
I'm excited for this
one's
one.
Probably the one I'm most excited for. The label's great. Historically, I've liked it.
It is the Nightmare Before Clusters.
Hey, Neon Raptor.
We love a clusters.
Clusters is awesome. The mini eggs one was awesome.
How did they not get a cease and desist on this? Because
that is 100% Jack Skellington. That is 100% the background
astronaut outfit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because they were like, it could be a skull of any unknown variety.
It is not. And it's got the old classic timber.
Yeah, since it's got the hill and
swirl in the back. I'm
surprised Portman Group weren't like, but children might think this is a product for TV. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to crack this open. The mini eggs one was fab.
You've got mine of that. I haven't had it yet.
Do I still have it? I think I gave that to you.
No, you haven't given me anything yet because we haven't seen each other.
I definitely gave it. I think I gave it to you. I'll have to double check.
From you.
Have to double check. Maybe I haven't. Maybe it is with me.
I've not seen you.
That is true.
March.
That is true. She had to go and get stupid ill.
I did.
Stupid ill, unexpectedly.
And we couldn't see each other in April. We couldn't make it work.
No, because we were supposed to see each other bordering on. So I made a minor spillage, but it's fine. I've rescued it.
Definitely smells like chocolate.
Does indeed. I need to pour a little bit more because I've done a sad. So obviously, if you don't know what clusters is, they have like the base clusters, and then they've done like variations of the clusters. So there's like the peanut butter chocolate, which I think is just sort of the normal one, and then you've got mini eggs, which was great, and then I think they've done at least one or two more, but this is
I've done another one. We get a little bit of spice. It's mostly chocolate.
It's mostly chocolate for me. I don't really. Okay. I'm not mad. Not mad about it at all. But I don't. But then also the head on it. If you look at the video, the head on it's quite thick for me as well. So it's like I don't know. It looks like quite thick and foamy. I don't know if that's like, you know, like when you have soundproofing on a room, like
Capturing the aroma.
maybe it's blocking it. It's soundproofing the aromas. It's aroma proofing.
All
But
right,
I am getting cacao chocolate, like quite a deep, rich chocolate smell.
It does say they added liquid cacao to it, so
There's one thing I can identify in a beer consistently. It is cacao, because I can tell when I go, oh, that's chocolate, and then I go, that, my friend, is cacao. And this is cacao.
all right. Ready?
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
I get a lot of chocolate, a lot of cacao chocolate.
There is a bit of spice there. It's dark chocolate.
There is the
A
problem.
little bit of spice.
The problem is I'm getting the spice, but then I'm like, is it because I've just had? It's such a lingering sense of spice. I'm like, I don't know if it's because I've just fucked my palate with like 7 other variations. But
You're very effy today.
I just feel like it's just norm. I'm tired. It just feels norm. Did a 4-hour drive today. Did a 4-hour drive and I took a nap.
Chocolatey. Spicy.
Yeah, there's almost like as well,
Nutmeg and clove.
like a dryness to it as well for me, like quite a dry finish. It's not even like the finish. I think it's just before the end. It starts getting quite dry. And yeah, it just tastes like when you have... It tastes... Or the way I can liken it to is I had an iced mocha earlier today, and the way they made it was with actual chocolate bits. So they like did the hot chocolate with the actual chocolate and then dumped that in. And there were some bits that hadn't melted, and it was like that rich dark chocolate. That's kind of like what I taste from this, as if they had like those, like as if I was going to find bits of dark chocolate lingering at the bottom of this glass.
Yeah.
Very rich, very luxurious, very tasty. Only 5.2%. Surprising.
Yeah. It's pretty full and rich for 5.2%, which is good on you, Neil Raptor.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. I might have liked the mini eggs one slightly more than this variation of clusters, but I think that's because it made the chocolate a little bit more milk chocolate. And I think like for this one, there's not enough pumpkins, there's not enough cinnamon in it for me to go, oh,
never enough cinnamon.
There's never enough cinnamon. I think if it had like a little bit more cinnamon to balance out some of the chocolate, I'd be like, oh, okay, now we're talking. It's really lovely. I really like it. But I think like with the mini eggs one, that one tasted like the shells of mini eggs. Whereas like it was literally like the shell of a mini egg. You knew exactly what it was. This one, I think because that one tasted so spot on, I thought this one potentially might end up a bit more cinnamony. But it's really nice. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good.
Are you ready for our final game?
I am.
Okay. This is called... You told me I'm sweary, so I'm not going to keep the name that I originally wrote in there. It's at 5:30 this morning. I'm not going to keep the name. I'm not going to keep the name that I gave it at 5:30 this morning when I was half awake and I couldn't go back to sleep because my acid reflux kept me up. It is called... And then I'm like, let's drink more beers, especially things that are sour. It is called, pumpkin name, real or fake? That's not what I called it, but that's what we're going to call it now. You're going to say, is that a real pumpkin variety or a fake pumpkin variety? And I've got a list of 15. All right, are you ready to play real or fake?
I am.
The pumpkin naming variety game.
Pumpkin edition.
Pumpkin edition. Right, okay. Gonna give you the name, you're gonna say real or fake. First one. We Be Little. So that's WEE-B space little.
I think that's fake.
Like your face when I said it, you were like... That it is real. It is a real pumpkin variety.
It's real. Why they put so much punctuation in a variety name?
I don't know. That's a variety. These are the common names for common names for them. There's also a Jack Be Little and a Jill Be Little.
I feel like I would have gone with Jack Be Little.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put that one. That's why I put Wee Be Little. Don't be silly. Warty Goblin.
Oh, I think that one's true.
That one is real.
Because I've seen Warty ones.
Warty Goblin, that one's true. Number 3. No, hold on, we'll mark this one up for fun. Okay. So, first one, wrong.
Thanks.
I'm just being factual. Second one, correct. Third one, Knucklehead.
Knucklehead. I think that one's false.
It's real. Fourth one, Zombie Delight.
I think that one's false.
Correct. That is not a real name. Number 5, Creepy Crawler.
That one could be true because it's a creeping vine.
Yeah, I was going to say they could be crawlers. You think it's true?
I think it's true.
False.
These people come up with crap names. Creepy Crawler's a great one, but Wee Be Little is rubbish.
And the second I said Wee Be Little, you were like, that's obviously fake.
Rubbish name. Who is the person that is naming these pumpkins? Because I want their job.
I don't know. I can't wait till after these ones, one I didn't put in there, because this will demonstrate why when I ask Copilot for things. So bear in mind, this came from ChatGPT because I asked Copilot, and we'll get into why we didn't use Copilot. Okay. Number 6, Gooligan.
Gooligan.
Like a ghoul?
I think that one's false. Yeah.
It's real. How good is that? A Gooligan. Like, I was like, oh, Mr. Gooligan over there.
What does it look like?
Okay, hold on, let me.
Don't Google it. I'll have a look later.
Gooligan. Oh, it's white. It's a what? I don't know. There might be a few different
That's what the name
ones.
of the white ones is.
Yeah, Gooligan, white baby pumpkin. Yeah.
I thought they were just called ghost cup pumpkins.
No, there's a few different varieties that are white. It's not just one. But that one is white.
Fine.
It's a legitimate. I Googled to fact check all of these. I didn't just trust. This is why we went with ChatGPT and not Copilot, because I fact checked. Number 7, Long Island cheese.
Long Island cheese? That one's false.
It's real.
It's going to be real now. It's going to be real now, isn't it? Why is it called Long Island cheese?
Just think about it. Why would I have gone pumpkin name, play on a pumpkin name, another play on a pumpkin name, and then just Long Island cheese? Like, I feel like that would have been so obviously not a pumpkin one that you would go, there's no way you made that one up. Definitely a pumpkin.
Is it Long Island cheese? What's that got to do with
because it's shaped like the round element of it is shaped like a cheese, like a wheel of cheese.
Oh, okay.
You're like, okay, fine then. I accept that. Why Long Island? I don't know. Maybe it was like discovered. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe Long Islanders really love cheese.
Long Island cheese. These are terrible names.
I think that's the best one so far.
You think that's the best
Long
one?
Island cheese.
It's got if I heard Long Island cheese, I'm not going to think pumpkin.
Yeah, but that's why it's funny.
That doesn't mean it's a good name for a pumpkin because it's funny.
Well, it is funny though. Number 8, Witchy Wart.
Oh, that one, yeah, definitely. Of course it is. It's not, is it?
I don't know what you got to say. Do you think it is, or you just went? It definitely. Yeah, it is. No, it's not.
Is.
So which one is it?
Well, we haven't had it's not for a while, so it's a not. It's not a name.
Correct. Well, it's like you can't just pick both. You can't go.
Yes, I can.
It's not.
Why not?
It's not one. Maybe. All right, the next one, Big Moose.
Big Moose.
Yeah.
Is that a Canadian pumpkin?
Maybe it is. Or am I am I doing a Long Island
was
cheese
Long
with you
Island
where I went,
cheese.
why would I put that one in there if it wasn't a pumpkin? Don't be silly, don't be ridiculous. And then I'm like, Big Moose, you're like, that's
Big
real, and I'm like,
Moose.
fake.
It's fake.
It's real. I was double bluffing. You were supposed to go, yeah, it is like the Long Island cheese. It is like the Long Island cheese.
Why is it called Big Moose?
I don't know.
What does it look
I
like?
didn't
What does
name it.
look
I don't
like?
know. Now I've got to Google. Big Moose pumpkin. It just looks like a pumpkin.
That's not a good name for a pumpkin.
They're just big ones.
They're just big.
Big. They also look like they're called Atlantic Giants. Big Macs is another name that's coming up.
Max. Brilliant. Just
Hold on, I'm gonna do a check because when I looked it up, it was coming up like you could buy the seeds, but now I'm just gonna double check because you might get it on a technicality if I can't buy the seeds for it because it was coming up. But if I can't buy the seeds for a Big Moose pumpkin, I'm gonna give it to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Every time, so there's nothing that's coming up to say it's not one, but it is getting overruled by Big Macs. So you know what? I can't be bothered to scroll through any more pictures of these pumpkins. I'm going to consider it that there's no Big Moose. There we go. I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
There's polar bears though.
Polar bear pumpkins.
Yeah, polar bear pumpkins.
Are they white? No, they're just really big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. No, they are white as well.
Yeah.
They are definitely white. Yeah? No? That one's yours.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Right. Number 10. Pumpkinator.
Pumpkinator. That's got to be real, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it you, love?
Sure, let's go with real.
Let's
go with
real.
real.
I got you! Bamboozled again!
I don't care. I give up now. These are dumb. All of these names are dumb.
Now you're like, oh no, I'm not doing it. That's it. They're dumb. They're stupid names.
They are. I've been saying the entire time through these are stupid names.
All right, okay. I'll give you another one. Number 11, Monster Mash.
Oh, I think Monster Mash is a real one.
It's not. It's fake.
See, Monster Mash is a better name. I would name pumpkins better than the people that are naming pumpkins.
More than Gooligan.
Okay,
Gooligan's great. And don't you even talk about Long Island cheese like that. You
Long
don't
Island cheese is bad. That's a terrible name.
Don't you disrespect Long Island cheese.
That's a terrible name.
Number 12. You ready for number 12?
Yes.
Pumpkimon.
But there's only 10.
No, there's 15. Pumpkimon.
Like Pokemon,
yeah,
but a pumpkin.
Pumpkimon.
Fake.
It's real. I will tell you, I thought the same thing. Because next to it, I don't know. Next to it said, gotta catch 'em all. So like with a Pikachu emoji, which I didn't even know that was a thing that ChatGPT could do. And I was like, that's obviously bullshit. So I Googled, it was not bullshit. It was a legitimate pumpkin. You could buy seeds for it. It was, yeah. There you go.
Terrible names for these
I'm on board
pumpkins.
with that one, actually.
Of course you are.
Ghost Gourd. It's also known as Spooky Squash.
That was real. That one had better be real.
That one's fucking fake!
Other
in Spooky Squash because I was like, Ghost Gourd on its own, that one might not stand up to because I already gave you Gooligan. And I was like, but if I throw in a double one, that AKA also Spooky Squash, you might be like,
that's a way better name than Long Island cheese.
All right, well, Long Island cheese is great.
And Big Moose, we said, was technicality.
That's right, you got that one. You got Long Island Moose.
Pumpkin.
There's also Big Moose, but there's Big Macs. All right, okay. You've got
terrible.
You've got two more. Number 14, okay. One too many.
One too many.
One too many because supposedly
like number two many.
One TOO many, as in like you had too many because supposedly it looks like a bloodshot eye due to its lacing.
Oh. Maybe like yeah, go on then.
Yeah, that one is.
All of these names are terrible.
That one is real.
So, yeah.
That one is real. So you got that one. I'll give you that one. And then the final one, Goblin Grin.
I think that was true.
It's not.
I've definitely seen pumpkins that have that great shape.
Yeah,
All of the names that they've chosen are
they might have
terrible,
that
and the
shape.
makeup ones are better.
That might be the shape, but that's not the name of it.
But you can call one Long Island cheese because it's shaped like a reel of cheese.
Oh, look, man.
Not Goblin
I
Grin.
didn't name the pumpkins. I didn't name the pumpkins. The pumpkin life named me. Like, I don't know what you want here.
Terrible.
So co-pilot,
Terrible
I'm not
names.
even gonna replay what the score is on that. It's fine. Co-pilot led me astray because it was trying to tell me. I was really excited because it was telling me names like, oh yeah, there's some named after a celebrity. You have Gordy Hawn. And I was like, that's excellent. And Jack Skellington. Great. I was like, these are not pumpkin names. I'm like, that's fucking. They would be
allowed to call it Jack Skellington. That's Disney's intellectual property.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, fine.
It's cease and desist.
Maybe. But so I'm going there and I'm like looking all around and I'm like, Gordy Hawn's great. And I'm like looking up no name of it. But the way co-pilot presented it to me is like, here's these factual pumpkin varieties. And I was like, can't find a single one of them. Gordy Hawn obviously being the best of them. Not a thing, couldn't do it. I did also ask them.
I love Goldie Hawn. She is great.
I did also ask them though to give me names of like what really good ones would be. So I was like, oh, what would you name your pumpkin spice beers? I did ask co-pilot for it, and out of co-pilot and ChatGPT, co-pilot gave me the better names, so I've got some tenders. So gorgeous goblet, that's a good one, I'll take that. Pumpkin pizzazz porter, squashbuckle stout.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. I like that one.
I like that.
Cinnamon cinder brew. I was like, I like that one. That one rolls off the tongue for me. Okay. Jack-o'-lager. I was like, Jack-o'-lager. That's a decent one.
Okay.
Next one I'm not keen on, Nutty Nectar Ale.
No.
Then you got number 7, Harvest Hops Hilarity. I don't know what it was going for with this. I don't know if it thought I was trying to name an autumn-based podcast. I was like, that's not what's happening. No. Number 8, Pumpkin Patch Pale Ale, which I feel like that probably is a legitimate one. That is a thing.
Yeah. There's probably a fair few of those.
If I look on Untapped. Number 9, Spice Squabble Saison.
Spice Squabble.
Yep, it's just
like an argument.
It's just basically gone like, where can I get alliteration?
Alliteration in. It's one of them. They're craft beers. It needs to have alliteration in the name.
I support it. I support alliteration. I'm team alliteration, but that was a step too far for me. And then number 10, Autumn Aletude.
No. These are worse than the pumpkin names.
Those are bad. I did ask them both to give me, to round this one out, to bring this to an end, I did ask them both to give me the most well-known pumpkin spice beers. And co-pilot also dropped the ball because co-pilot told me it was Beaverton Stingy Jack, which I was like, I didn't even know they made a pumpkin beer, but okay, fine.
No.
Rogue Pumpkin Patch Ale, which I was like, okay, I believe that. That's fine.
Yeah.
UFO Journey to Planet Pumpkin, which I didn't think that's evil. Like, UFO does a pumpkin, but it's not called that. So I was like, okay. Then you have O'Fallon Vanilla Pumpkin Beer, which I was like, literally never heard of that. And then Bronx Brewery Tattooed Pumpkin IPA. Never heard. I've heard of Bronx Brewery, never heard of this beer. Whereas
Bronx Brewery made the best black IPA I've ever done.
Bronx Brewery makes decent beers. Very good stuff, but yeah, I was like, never heard of that. Whereas ChatGPT gave me Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale. I was like, I know what that is. I've enjoyed that. I've liked it. Southern Tier Pumpkin. I know what that is. I like it.
That is my favourite. That's
a good one. Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. Never heard of that, but I've not heard of it myself. But I was like, we're on a roll.
I've not had it.
We're on a roll. I'll try it. Shipyard Pumpkinhead. Yep, had that
That's
one.
Your fave.
Had that one. I like Smashed Pumpkin more than Pumpkinhead, but Pumpkinhead's good. And there's Weyerbacher Imperial Pumpkin Ale.
Oh, I've had that one and it was good.
Not had it, but I imagine it's probably good. New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Atomic Pumpkin, which again, I've not had it myself, but I imagine it probably tastes banging. UFO Pumpkin, which that's what I was like, what is this Journey to Planet Pumpkin? That's not a thing. And then you've got number 8, which is Aleworks Pumpkin Ale, which I've heard of Aleworks, but I haven't had this pumpkin, but I'm sure it's also very good. So I was just a bit like, I was like, co-pilot.
You're drunk, go home.
Yeah, it's like that scene from Space Force, and they're like, "Fuck Microsoft!" Like that was me. I was like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Making my life harder because now I've got to validate all this stuff that is just absolute nonsense. You're making it harder to validate by giving me rubbish." But there you go. I did do other things I won't go into. We'll save that for another episode. But I did fun things where I asked to personify pumpkin spice, but you're going to have to hang on to that and wait for maybe our pumpkin episode this year if we can do it in a timely manner.
That sounds like a good idea. Well, there you go, listeners. We finally did our pumpkin episode. And we got a lot of pumpkin beers sat here that we got to go drink. So, Tori, if people want to give you their pumpkin jokes, where can they get hold of you?
If you wanna create your own pumpkin game to play with me, I'm happy to play along. If you want to drop me your best. I mean, Joe likes the practical ones. I like the dad jokes. If you want to give me the silly dad jokes, you can come find me on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism, or at Gmail. You can email them in at adventuresandoptimism@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of both of us because you want to weigh in on whose Pop-Tart was cooked the right way, or how...
Are you saying that my Pop-Tart was not cooked the right way?
There's no wrong way.
Are you judging?
There's no wrong way to cook a Pop-Tart.
Feeling very judged.
I'm not judging.
Now.
I just said that yours was cooked more than mine was cooked. That's all I'm saying. We had this
conversation about when we did crumpets, though, because you didn't cook your crumpets enough. And
so you told me that I could do this. I don't like them well done. I like it on the more slightly tan side. That's it. But yeah, I mean, if you wanna talk to us about our pumpkin offerings, or Joe's first experience of having pumpkin, you can find us both at A Woman's Brew Podcast. We're on Instagram and Facebook and X, but don't really talk to us there, please.
We don't go there.
Yeah, we don't go there.
Elon broke
it. I feel like it was broken for me before that, and then that did not help. And it also doesn't help. I've been watching docs, and it really doesn't help. Don't watch the docs. And then you can email us at awomansbrewpodcast@gmail.com. Joe, if people want to talk to you about your experience with pumpkin and how you didn't grow up having pasta, where can people find you?
You want to talk to me about that? I mean, the thing is, I didn't eat pasta until I went to uni, so that's just how it is. My family don't know. They still don't eat pasta now. I mean, Gordon does. We eat a lot of pasta in our house, but the rest of my family don't. If you want to talk to me about that, or if you'd like to talk to me about beer, which is probably more interesting, you can get hold of me at Love Beer Learning, and I am on Facebook, Instagram, X, but I'm never there, so don't find me there. TikTok or Pinterest. Pretty much I'm going to be on Instagram, so come find me there. Or you can come to my website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, or you can email me, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. Send me some good white pasta sauce recipes, because I'm always up for new ones of those. So we've got 5 pumpkin beers we've got to go drink. So let's go do that.
Cheers.
Cheers.